Aha. Oh, right. So, let's see how everything's going along. Okay. So, it's only got 2 viewers. Hello. So, this is Timus the Fox, and this is my very first live stream. So, hopefully everything goes well and it's not a total train wreck. I'm honestly hoping it's not, but let's see how everything goes on. So this live stream is basically a Q&A. So what you guys can do is just send your questions in the chat and I'll read them. And yeah, we'll get that sorted out. So let's see. Gonna have to use like this poll. So I can't really use this one. So whatever, we'll get rid of that. And we'll look at our little phone here. We've got a little background there. All right, let's look at the chat. Oh, we got people. All right. All right. Hello, people of the internet. How are you? I'm trying to read your chat log because it's really hard in a fursuit. I'm really trying to look at you guys. Hello. Hi, Timus. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Elder Timus. When did it start? It just started a couple of minutes ago, like 2 minutes ago. Literally, I just started. Yes, I am a furry fox. Yes, that is true. Now, of course, this is going to be a very like question oriented. It's going to put like creepy music for a second. Okay, so, oh, thank you so much. I'm still trying to figure out everything. So, I think the camera is pretty good. I think it's a pretty good quality. The audio, I think, is pretty good quality. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Because I am using my Samsung Go mic, and I'm not really sure if you guys can hear me or not. La la la, la la la, la la la. Okay, so we got 1 viewer so far. All right. So for that 1 viewer, you can ask me any questions, and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. Hello, I'm doing great. It's a very nice night. This live stream was pretty late. I was supposed to live stream like around 7 p.m., but I ended up streaming now at 10. So I am kind of late, and I'm sorry. Still trying to figure out, you know, how to live stream. So it's really tough right now to do it. Trying to figure out what I should do and what I should not do. All right, we got questions. Who made my suit? Okay. The person who made my suit is Mariah Baby, a Ginger Suits. You can find her on Facebook, or you can find her on Fur Affinity. And what's interesting about her is that even though she only makes partials so far, her partials are of great quality. And she is very helpful. She's very informative. She gives you the best advice on how to take care of your fursuit and everything. And it's just great. I definitely recommend her. just go check out her page, and yeah, I think you'll be like, wow. Oh, and she's pretty cheap. I got my entire fursuit for like $700, so it wasn't that expensive compared to other more expensive, higher tier fursuits out there. My favorite YouTuber, wow. Whew, my favorite YouTuber. I honestly, this is a really tough one because there are a lot of people out there on YouTube who make quality content. But mine would personally be Casey Neistat, and the reason why Casey Neistat is that he's really the kind of ideal person that you look towards making videos and slice of life type of videos where you see that lifestyle of everyday life, and he's documenting it in a very unbiased way, in my opinion. There are times when he sort of delves into sort of biased stuff unconsciously, but mostly he's a very fun, very informative, very, very entertaining YouTuber, and I think Casey Neistat is one of the best YouTubers out there. He has about 7 million subscribers right now on YouTube, and he gives a lot of good advice on how to start making videos and how to make videos and everything. So it's pretty good. When did I find the furry fandom? I found the furry fandom actually a few years ago. I was in my teens. This was like 10 years ago. I was really unconsciously searching the web for anthropomorphic characters, and I ended up going on DeviantArt, and DeviantArt is where a lot of people post furry stuff. So it started off slow. It started off like I went and I looked at fan art, and I was like, wow, what is this? What are these anthropomorphic characters with these weird color patterns and all this stuff? And then I came to realize that it was actually a community of people who were doing this. And that was like 10 years ago when I was like 14. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I remained silent in the community until like last year. I've only started being active in the furry community until I got my first suit a few months ago. Would I ever boop rage Stormy? Maybe. I don't know. I certainly hope not. I don't like raging, honestly. But Stormy's rage in his live streams are kind of entertaining. Like, I know that he doesn't mean it, but it's pretty funny to see him sort of get frustrated. We all get frustrated, and yeah, but it's kind of funny just how to see him try to deal with Spyro and that treetop level, because I played Spyro as a kid, and playing that level is just hell, and I know where he's coming from when he says that. My family does know that I'm a furry. Yes, very much. I told them about a month ago. I showed them the fursuit, and I showed them everything, and I told them about it. I told them that it was just a community of people who love doing this, who love to dress up and all that. And me, who's an actor, a performer, this didn't really, strike them as weird, because they were like, oh, he's a performer. He, this is something that he wants to do in life. We understand. So they weren't really like, oh my God, he's a furry. He's a demon. No, they were more accepting. They were actually surprisingly accepting, and I was very happy for that. Yes, I did create my own persona. The first suit that I'm wearing right now is Timus the Fox. I created Timus the Fox about a year ago, and I sent the ref sheet to Mariah Baby at Ginger Suits to create the first suit. Timus is basically a anthropomorphic fox. He's fully fox. He's not like a hybrid of anything. And I understand that his face is very generic in some sort of way, but the individuality comes really in the facial structure of the character. Because when you go around and examine some of the facial features of animals in real life, you notice that the facial structure are different in all of them. So that's what makes them unique, even though they all kind of look the same, if you know what I mean. Who's my fursuit crush? Oh my god. I kind of knew somebody was going to ask me that tonight. Okay. Let's see. Fursuit crush. Okay, it would have to be, and I apologize for him for hearing this. It's actually Timus the Fox. He's on Twitter, and he's pretty nice, you know. Those thick thighs, you know. I met Forrest at Megaplex this year, and I was like, wow, you know, his suit is amazing. I really love it, and I ended up just falling a crush on Forrest the Fox. So check him out on Twitter. He's there. His suit was actually made by the same person who made Myron's fursuit, Twinkie Arts, if memory serves correctly for me. Huh. Any other persona? No, I don't have any other persona. And I don't think I'm gonna plan on getting another persona anytime soon. But if it could be another persona, I think it would probably be a dog. I really don't know. Maybe a German Shepherd, because I like German Shepherds. So it would probably be a German Shepherd or a Dalmatian. Oh my god, a Dalmatian. No, but a German Shepherd probably would be another persona I would have. So yeah. I am 24 years old, and I've been in the fandom for roughly 10 years. But I've been a silent furry for 10 years. I was very quiet about it, so I wasn't really open about it until last year. Any more questions? Thank you for everybody who showed up to ask questions. I highly appreciate it. I think this stream is going well so far for being a first stream. When I first started, I was like, oh my god, you know, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be like, oh my god. The camera's actually working pretty well. The microphone's working pretty well, so that's good. And I think that we could keep this going for like an hour before I sign off. How did I start YouTube? I started YouTube actually a few years ago. Timus the Fox is not actually my first channel. Like many other content creators, they had channels before their main ones. I had 2 channels, and they weren't very successful in terms of subscribers and views. So I didn't really become, you know, dedicated YouTuber making videos every day and unique content. So I didn't really do it. And I started doing Timus the Fox recently. So he's now my main YouTube channel. So yeah. If I had a chance to do something in the fandom, and why? It would probably be make a collab with another fursuiter. Could be anybody. I really don't care. Because I think that when the fursuiters meet up with other fursuiters and talk about their experiences or their not opinions, but you know, their opinions, if you know what I mean. I think that's great. It really brings, you know, several people together and explain their own experiences to an audience. So I think a collab would be one of those things that I would want to do, definitely. Who is my dream fursuit maker? Huh. My dream fursuit maker. I really don't know, honestly. Maybe mischief makers. I don't really see myself as a mischief maker fursuit though. Like if I were to get another fursuit in the future, I wouldn't get it from mischief makers. I don't think. Maybe Twinkie Arts, probably. I would have to go with Twinkie Arts because I think that they have that sort of feel that I get from my character, and plus their fursuits are very cute, so I like that. My experience in a furry convention was very strange at first. It was really just me trying to figure out how to move around in a fursuit, because remember, when you're in a fursuit, you actually have to really emote a lot more than you do in real life. So here's my hand. I'm waving it like any normal human being would. But in a fursuit, you have to really emote your movements so that people can really understand what you're trying to convey through your motions. So it was hot. And this was in summer in Florida. And it was kind of strange because I mean, I've been to conventions before, but never really a furry convention where people were wearing tails and they were wearing, you know, fursuits. So this was actually the first time I saw fursuits in real life. So I was kind of amazed, and I was kind of excited too. I was very excited actually. That was great. So I went and, you know, went with my selfie stick and started recording, figuring out how to pose, because I began to realize that every angle of my fursuit has a unique expression to it. So doing this is different than doing this, doing this, doing this. So I had to figure that all out on that same day. And I wasn't really the best at taking photos in fursuit. And I didn't have a handler, so that was another thing too. It wasn't really that easy to be in a fursuit without a handler, especially in your first furry convention in a fursuit, and your first furry convention overall. I've actually haven't done any collabs yet. I would love to do some in the future with anybody, honestly. Just you know, ring me up and I'll be happy to do a live stream with you, honestly. I do intend to do live streams in the future. I think I'm going to do more talk streams where I just talk to the camera about a certain thing, maybe, you know, people asking questions or whatever. I might also do gaming live streams because I think I'm going to do that. And if I'm going to do a gaming live stream, it's probably going to be something that's very retro. So like Resident Evil 3 or Mega Man on PS1, something like that. But we will see. I will see. No, you're not asking hard questions at all. In fact, you're asking the right amount of questions, because if people don't ask me questions, I'll just be standing here like, I'll just be like bored out of my mind. Yes, I hope to get a full suit in the future because, you know, yeah, a partial is all right, but you guys need to keep in mind that in Florida, it's so hot and humid. Being in a full suit is just going to be murder for me. But I do hope to get a full suit in the future. Anytime soon, probably not. So I'm sorry if you guys might think that I'm going to get it in like a few months. Probably not. Because I'm already investing in MFF. And that's going to be my first big furry convention. Why am I so fluffy and cute? I don't know. God made me this way. I made myself this way. I don't know. Am I really that fluffy and cute? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, I know it. I know I'm fluffy and cute. Thank you. No, actually, they don't. None of my real life friends know that I'm a furry. The only people who know that I'm a furry is people within my immediate family. My sister doesn't know. You know, nobody that is close than my own parents know that I'm a furry yet. And I don't really feel comfortable letting them know, especially because I'm just starting out in the workforce, and it's kind of tough, honestly. But we'll see. And plus, it's also a struggle because there are people that I know who hate furries and they find them creepy. So they have this sort of prejudice where they'll look at a furry and they'll be like, "Oh my god, the sexual deviants who are, they can't be trusted. They cannot be trusted." So it's really tough. And I've known some of these people for years, and I just don't want something like that to end our relationship. Honestly, even though I love doing it. I'd rather this be a more private thing than a more public thing. That's kind of why I made my own Twitter, my own furry Twitter. Of course, I've heard Kingdom Hearts. Are you nuts? Who has not heard of Kingdom Hearts? I played Kingdom Hearts 2 when I was younger, when I was in my teens, and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't really a die-hard fan. Now, I know a lot of girls, a lot of guys in my high school were die-hard fans of Kingdom Hearts 2. They were just like, oh my god, Sora and Riku, they need to, get together and they need to, do something. They need to do a collab with each other. Oh my god. That was, every day at my high school, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I just played a game. I mean, it was great. Actually, something very very interesting. When I first saw the Kingdom Hearts trailer, the very first one, on TV, on the Disney Channel, I was kind of like, well, what is this? It's a kid with a giant key sword fighting monsters alongside Donald Duck and Goofy. What is that? What is that? Do they really expect to sell copies about this? And it turned out it was a very successful game. So, that happened, and I ended up playing the game and loving it. So never judge a book by its cover, ladies and gentlemen. Do I draw? No, not really. I wish I did. I wasn't really that visual artist. I was more of a performing artist. That's why I got a fursuit, because I love to emote a lot and I love to perform in front of an audience. So I'm not really, I doubt that I'm gonna draw in the future. So I'm sorry for those of you who think I'm gonna, make commissions and whatnot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no, you guys are disappointed. No, this live stream was a failure. No, I behave. If Stormy doesn't hurt you, I'm pretty sure he's a cool guy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be very chill at the convention. He'll probably be like, hey, what's up? Boom. Again, I created my persona about a year ago. So it hasn't been that long, actually. He was originally supposed to be a character for my novel that I'm still writing. And then he officially became my persona. I don't know if I'm going to still have him in my novel, because I really think that I could give him a chance to be in my novel. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Through watching now. All right, cool. favorite artist in the furry fandom. Let's see. You know, I really don't know. I really don't know, because I really don't delve into the furry art that much. I would have to say, oh my god, who would it be? Who would be my favorite furry artist? Jeez. This is actually going to be the hardest question on this live stream, I think. I think it would be... Jeez. Kenkit, maybe? Just because of how the artist draws animals, and they're very hyper-realistic, in my opinion. Just the way that the anatomy is sort of this real life thing. Because I'm more of a reality kind of person. I love reality. I mean, I love fantasy genres and science genres and all that. But I really like the idea of, you know, correct anatomy and, you know, anthropomorphic animals that look as closely human as possible. So I think Kenkit would be, I think I'm pronouncing that name right. I think that person would be my favorite artist. I'm going to be completely honest. That was the first artist that came to my head, and it's always the first artist that comes to my head. So yeah, pretty much. I've played Final Fantasy VII. I'm not really a big fan of it, but I do appreciate the story. I do appreciate the characters. I do appreciate the music, the environment, the fact that, you know, it was a colossal game that inspired a lot in the video game industry. And plus, you know, first Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation, you know, you got to give it that, because it's really what made the Final Fantasy games grow, in my opinion. But I was more of a fan of Final Fantasy VIII. I just like the love story in it, and you know, I played it the most when I was a kid, so I closely identify with Final Fantasy VIII more. I like Squall. I like the Gunblade. I think the Gunblade is awesome. I think the world that takes place in the story is awesome. I think the realistic environments, so like cars and buildings or whatever, mixed in with the fantasy element is genius. I think the music is just amazing. So that's my favorite Final Fantasy game. And going back to Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VIII is actually my favorite game of all time. I actually think that it has that sort of childhood flair that will never leave my heart and soul, even the day I die. Because I really believe that Final Fantasy VIII is such an amazing game. And it has stuck with me to this very day, and I think it will for the rest of my life. So Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite game of all time. Why did I subscribe to you? And you know, it's, I think, you know, just subscribing to other people. You know, that's what I do. If you notice on my Twitter page, you know, I'm kind of like almost half and half with followers and, you know, following. You know, most of the time, people who follow me on Twitter, I follow back. Most people who subscribe me, I subscribe back. You know, it's sort of that thing. Well, you know, you give me something, I give something back mentality. Oh my god. Okay, I will be right back. Just give me like 2 seconds. Oh, jeez. Okay. Now, just to going away from the questions for a moment, I was thinking of doing a face reveal one of these days. I'm not going to do it now. I might not do a face reveal at all, but you know, some people have been asking me on Telegram, hey, do a face reveal. You know, I'm still, you know, I'm not camera shy, but I'm not really confident in revealing my face yet. Do I know? No, I don't know who Tyru Panda is. I'm sorry. That's interesting though. That you know somebody on DeviantArt inspired you to you know find the furry fandom and everything. I think most people who find out the furry fandom exists is through DeviantArt in the first place. So that's great. You know, I see a lot, and you know what? I'm not one of those people who goes on DeviantArt and is like, oh my god, you know, that art is completely atrocious. This is the worst artist ever. Because you never know that if this artist is going to become the greatest furry fandom artist in the world someday. So you can't really hold prejudices against these people. They are just starting out in the fandom. You have to expect mistakes, and you have to expect, you know, some sort of, I wouldn't say cringy content, but content that, you know, that they're going to look down upon a few years from now and say, oh yeah, you know, this was me 5 years ago and I've improved definitely, you know. This is my first live stream and I'm just starting to figure out everything, honestly. So, you know, 5 years from now, I could look back at this video and be like, wow, you know, a lot has changed since I did my first live stream video 5 years ago. My favorite food, my favorite food would be sushi. I love sushi. I honestly love sushi. It's so fishy, so raw fish. And, you know, people I know absolutely hate fish. And I'm like, well, how can you hate fish? How can you hate raw fish? How can you hate sushi? Sushi's amazing. The way they prepare sushi is amazing. You know, it's that kind of stuff. I'm gonna fix the camera, so I want to get the ears. Ah! I think that's fine. I think the camera's fine now. Staring down still. Hold on. Just testing out everything. I'm not really sure why it's doing that. God damn it. Okay. I didn't like that position, and besides, I wanted to get my ears, so I apologize for that nauseating experience. Okay. So back to the questions. What type of car do I have? A really shitty one. I have an Xterra. 2004. I don't like it. How did I get measurements for my fursuit head? It was a very difficult process. I really imagined it to be that. I thought I could do it myself. I have no experience in costuming and how to take measurements. So I went to my local theater. I was still in college. Okay, I'm a recent graduate, so I'm not in college anymore. But I went and I asked the theater department there, hey, you know, I need to take measurements for a costume that I'm going to have made for me. Could you please help me with measurements? And so they said, yeah, no problem, you know. So they helped take measurements of every part of my body, my arms, my shoulders, my waist, my pants, you know, everything. And it actually turned out when I went to Busch Gardens and, you know, did all that, you know, just took measurements for you. So that helped a lot too, trying to figure out my measurements. If you can't really figure out how to get your head measurements, I would say just go to a tailor. I think a tailor might be able to help you figure that out. If you cannot go to a tailor, try any theater that might be able to help you. You could try any clothes shop. You know what? That department stores that might take measurements for you if you ask. You know, hey, I don't know my measurements. I don't know my head measurements because I'm trying to get a hat. Could you please help me find my head measurements? And they will be like, okay, yeah, I'll be sure to help you, and they'll do it for you. So that's very helpful if you can't do it yourself. Dab? You want me to dab? Okay, ready? This will be the very first time you see Timus the Fox dab. So I think that you guys will get the luxury of being among the first in world history to see Timus the Fox dab. Ready? 1, 2, bam! That was terrible. 1, 2, 3, bam! I dabbed. There we go. Oh my god. Okay. Would I ever go fursuiting in public? Yeah, I think so. I think that I wouldn't fursuit alone in public. I would either have a handler with me by my side to, you know, ward off potential people messing up my costume, or not bullying, but, you know, messing with my fursuit. And I would do it with other fursuiters for sure. So it's, you know, it's not just going out there in the dark and whatever. But I think fursuiting in public would be, you know, yeah, I would do it. I haven't done it yet, though. I was thinking of going fursuiting this Halloween as a sort of coming out to public kind of fursuit thing. You know, whatever gets people to go, oh, like, he must be a national disgrace to this country. Really, you're gonna ask me who's better? I can't really say who's better. I like both. I like both YouTubers. I like the Fourth. If I had to decide, I mean, I honestly, you know, I rather not say who I prefer, but I am gonna say that they are both great YouTube content creators, and I think you should check out both of their channels, especially Stormy the Fourth, because he is just coming out in the freaking good quality content videos. And Majiro Strawberry, if for those of you who don't know for some reason, is a very popular furry YouTuber. He makes great content. Recently did a Bucksona opening, which I think is great. I was thinking of doing that actually. But yeah, I'm not going to say who I prefer because I'd rather not antagonize the other for saying it. Sorry. Any horror stories? Honestly, I'm. There is this one time. So I was in Vancouver this year, and you know, I just went to Gross Mountain, which is a very great skiing resort, in June. So I ended up staying there until like 10 p.m. right, and it's still daytime in Vancouver at 10 p.m. Not really daytime, but it's still like sunset at 10 p.m. So when I went down the mountain, it was dark already, and I had to find my way back to the hotel room, which was in the other side of Vancouver because I was in North Vancouver. The only way I could get there was by bus because there was no taxis running in my area. So it was already midnight. I was by myself in a dark street. And this person out of the blue, you know, just starts walking to me, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, this guy's gonna mug me or something. And so I started going inside. I think it was AB. It's like a burger shop in Vancouver. It's like really big in Canada, and I stayed in there. I ate in there, and they had closed, so I had to get out again. So the bus was gonna arrive. They took it. So I literally ran out the door to the bus station, and I was like, oh my god, okay, I'm by myself again, and that scares me. And all I see is just this shoe in the ground, just eaten here by like a bear or something. Oh my god, because the forest was right there, right? Because North Vancouver is like right next to the mountains. So I'm thinking like, oh my god, I'm alone in a dark street at midnight, and there could be like creatures up there trying to kill me. So finally the bus comes, I get out, and as I'm on the bus, this person next to me looks like a meth head or whatever. He looks crazy, and he's with a girl, and you know, they start having a fight with the bus driver, and I happen to be in the middle of it. So all I had to do was to stay quiet and be like, okay, you know, where's my next stop? And so the bus driver told me, okay, the next stop, and you go down the street and you'll end up in Robson Street where you want to be. So I'm like, okay. So I get off the bus, I walk down for like 5 blocks. I end up in Robson Street, and it's just pitch black. I ran to that hotel, and I was like, fuck, I'm never doing this again in any city in the world so late by myself. It's terrible. And that's kind of my horror story. Wiki, I don't know. Wiki was the first? Huh, okay. Okay, conventions that I'm going to in the future are MFF, hopefully, MFF 2017. I'm not really sure if I'm going to Anthrocon, but you know, I'm pinning it there. Megaplex 2018, I'm definitely going to, and probably FWA next year. So I'll you know, keep that in mind. Just to let people know, I'm gonna be closing this stream in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so any last minute questions you want to ask, I'll answer them. It's getting really hot in this fursuit head. Okay, I answered this question before near the beginning of the stream. My first suit maker is Mariah Baby, a Ginger Suits, and you can find her on Facebook or Furfinity, and she makes partials and she makes high quality fursuits, in my opinion, and they're really great. I got this fursuit, the paws, the arm sleeves, the tail, and the fursuit head for about $750. Oh, and there's a payment plan where you could pay $100 to $150 a month. So that's great. I don't have fursuit legs, but I would probably get plantigrade, honestly. I don't really like digigrade because it's very limiting, the movement and how people walk. I just don't like it. You know, I'm trying to get from point A to point B at a convention. I don't want digigrade to slow me down. So definitely a plantigrade. I will have a plantigrade if I get a full suit. The first furry YouTuber that I watched was actually Majira Strawberry, and this was like 2 years ago when he was just starting out in the fandom. But I didn't really pay close attention to Majira. I wasn't like, you know, oh my god, you know, this guy. I mean, I looked at some of his videos and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, he makes cool content. He kind of reminded me of Shane Dawson, of course. I watched Shane Dawson since, you know, early YouTube, and looking at Majira, I kind of saw like a Shane Dawson furry YouTuber. I'm sorry, Majira, if you think I'm thinking of you this way. Don't take it as an insult, please. That's kind of like how I saw you in your videos. Your videos are very entertaining, Majira. Don't get me wrong. You know, very entertaining. They're very funny. Yeah, so pretty much Majira was the person, the first furry YouTuber that I watched. I did not know about, you know, Kirill the Wolf, Vix, Vigo and Red, and these other furry YouTubers until later. I saw a little bit of, I would say, not Dash the Tiger. Well, maybe Dash the Tiger, because I kind of looked at Majira's Vines for a little bit. I wasn't really a Viner. You know, I didn't have Vine. I missed that opportunity a long time ago. Shame. But yeah, so unfortunately, it's not how it played down for me. Boop. Okay. Whoop. Boop. All right. Any more questions for people who might want to ask me something? Anybody? Last minute? I'm surprised nobody's asking me of why I called myself a pumpkin, but whatever. Yes, I have met other furry YouTubers in real life. I met them at Megaplex. I met Telephone in real life at Megaplex. I met Majira in real life, and I met Taru. I met. I think that's it, actually. There were plenty of others. Don't get me wrong. There are so many other furry YouTubers that I saw at Megaplex. I just can't name them. Nos Hyena was there. I ended up not being able to meet him because I didn't see him. But there's a lot more furry YouTubers that I saw at the convention. I didn't actually get to officially meet. My favorite ice cream is chocolate. Chocolate, it's very good. I honestly love chocolate. I call myself a pumpkin because I guess you can say the color of my fur So I'm reminding myself that I look like a pumpkin. And plus, it's October, so I kind of made that joke that I look like a pumpkin. It's stupid. Yeah, so you know, I look like a pumpkin, kinda, because of the orange color, and it's October, and I don't know. I like to think that I'm just a vegetable, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna keep the stream going for another minute. So one more question I'll take, and that's it. Okay, and then we can do this some other time. All right. Listen to that music. My favorite holiday is Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas, and I would be an asshole to say that I like it only because of the presents. It's not because of that. I love Christmas because of the movies that exist surrounding the holiday. The idea that you give, you don't take. Communities coming together. People loving each other. I love Christmas because it brings people together in ways that we don't see any other time of the year, except for Valentine's Day. But yeah. All right, guys, that is it. So I think that this first live stream went pretty good. I'm happy, and I'm going to sign off now. I appreciate all of you coming out today and watching this live stream and asking questions, making me, have a purpose in life. Yeah! So I will see you guys next time. Mwah. Now you can listen to this chill hop compilation as I turn this broadcast off.